What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today we have another recap of the New York Rangers playoff series. This is game 2 of the recap, a 4-3 double overtime victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. So the Rangers win both games at home, and I think that is so crucial in this series. Carolina is an amazing hockey team, and I know they're down 2-0, but don't count them out, right? This team is going to have a full house of fire uh, being played in their home stadium, and they're going to have their fans behind them, rooting them on, playing that horn that they always play in the middle of periods, which I think is very obnoxious, but that's how they roll. And I think if you're the New York Rangers, you have to keep playing how you're playing. Don't change anything in the lineup, really. I know there's been some speculations I saw on Twitter that Matt Rempe might not play game 3 because he didn't really see much time on the ice, and especially in overtime. I want to say he only had 5 or 7 shifts in the entire hockey game. And I think Matt Rempe does bring something to the table, right? He is a big hitter. He gets in on the forecheck, but I think with this team that they're playing against particularly, I mean, Carolina is a fast team. And I think with Matt Rempe not being as fast as them, of course, big body, I don't know if I see him being a huge impact in this series and a guy that, if they do take out of the lineup, it really makes a big difference. Could see a guy like Johnny Brzezinski slotting into that fourth line role, but hey, Laviolette's a guy that likes to stick to his lineup, likes to stick to what works. They'll probably have some talks and meetings about if he's going to play or not, but hey, if he does play, I will not support it. I will love Matt Rempe to play every single playoff game and hit guys and do his job. I think he does bring a lot to the table. I think he does strike fear into the opponent, and that's really what I got to say about Matt Rempe, man. I mean, he's a body, and a guy that has been well known around the league now. I think he's made his presence known in the NHL. I think that's why he stayed up in the NHL, and he hasn't been sent down to Hartford. But really getting into the game and enough talking about Matt Rempe, Rangers got the win. It took 2 overtimes, but they got the win. And I think before we even get into Vinny Trocheck's performance, I think the guy that, aside from Trocheck, that won the MVP of this game, it's number 31 in goal, Igor Shesterkin. This guy, Igor Shesterkin, he's been outstanding. And I think the only goalie that I can compare to that may be better than him in this playoffs is Jeremy Swayman. Other than that, Igor Shesterkin has been the best goalie in the playoffs. I will tell you that right now. And he has brought so much to this squad. And when you get the saves in the timely moments, it helps out your team tremendously. And that's what Igor Shesterkin did in this game. He got the saves. He made 50-plus saves in a game. And he kind of stole this game from Carolina. Carolina, I think, brought their best foot forward. I thought this was the best Carolina we've seen in these first 2 games, and I thought, yes, they did take a lot of penalties. They took 7 to be exact. Rangers took 5. So once again, refs really calling a lot. Even in overtime, Rangers went down 2 times in the overtime. Carolina couldn't give an answer. This Rangers penalty kill has not helped the Carolina power play. They're so aggressive, and they do a lot of things right, this Rangers squad. And I mean, more into Igor Shesterkin, he made some saves that it was like, how the hell did he stop that? And that's the X factor. I think Igor Shesterkin can easily be the X factor of this series and why the Rangers can move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, a lot of games still have to be played. Rangers still have to win 2 more, and it's going to be hard to win in Raleigh. I think we all know that, but they're playing well, and overall, I mean, they're playing as disciplined as they can. I know they took 5 penalties, but they can get away with it, right? Panarin takes a penalty on Natchez, and he even said in the conference that, I know I took the penalty, and I know it's not a great one, but we have so much confidence in this penalty kill, I wasn't really worried. And I don't really know what Carolina can do better on this power play. Maybe they change it up, moving Tony D'Angelo somewhere or putting someone in a different spot. But this Rangers penalty kill has been outstanding. The Rangers power play goes 2 for 7 and wins it. Right? I said it in the first podcast of this series, really. After game one, if Carolina is going to take penalties, you got to make them pay. And they did, right? Chris Kreider gets a goal. Lafreniere, 2 goals, and then Trocheck at the end. And Lafreniere, there's Lafreniere. Hello. That line as a whole has been their best line. But seeing Lafreniere score, I just love seeing him score. I love seeing any Rangers score, but I feel like with Lafreniere, it's different because this is a guy that in the regular season and even before that, we had a lot of concerns of how he was going to progress. And under Peter Laviolette's staff, he has only gotten better, and he's getting multiple points. He had a point in game one of the Panarin goal. He's got 2 goals in game two. I mean, the guy is flying. And that line with Trocheck, Panarin, and Lafreniere, it's hard to beat him, man, because you got to worry about Panarin, but Panarin setting up Lafreniere, and Trocheck scoring game winners. I'm loving it. I'm loving the winning vibe. 6-0 for the first time since 1994. This Rangers team has done it, and we all know what happened in 1994. Rangers did go on to win the Stanley Cup, so I mean, it's a good vibe. I think a lot of things that we have to love about these first 2 games. And I think in particular to game 2, it's a lot different going up 2-0 to Raleigh than going in a tied series. And we know Carolina is going to make adjustments. Now, I don't know with Freddie Anderson what they're going to do. He's allowed 3 goals he's allowed 8 goals. Sorry, he's allowed 8 goals in the first 2 games. Shesterkin has allowed 6. It's been the same score both games, 4-3. Is it time to pull Freddie Anderson and put in Kochetkov? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Rod Whittemore is thinking. I know that's definitely something that crosses his mind. Is maybe a goaltender change to spark something because they need some sort of spark, or else, I mean, if you go down 3-0, it's going to be a very tall task to overcome. And kind of heading into the offensive vibes, really for our next topic. I mean, 2 for 7 on the power play. It's special teams, man. Special teams with power play and penalty kills. What's going to win this series in goaltending? It's a lot of the analysts said, and it's what I'm saying right now for the next however many games this takes. Power play, penalty kill, and goaltending. If you don't succeed in those, you're not going to win the series. And that goes for the Rangers too. If their power play or penalty kill goes cold or whatever, it's going to be a hard time winning that series. And I like where the Rangers are. They feel confident. It's not like they're exhausted either. Like, these guys got a full tank to go. They got a whole nother gear that they can get to. They can get goals from the third line. We haven't seen anything from Cooley, Kakko, or Wenberg yet. I mean, Wenberg had an assist, but no Kakko goals yet in this series. No Cooley goals yet. Maybe something next. Maybe a Cooley goal on the road. Wouldn't mind that at all. But and another thing, we said Carolina needs to be more disciplined. Talking about Carolina, and they go on to do more penalties. 7 penalties. And you could say what you want, Carolina versus refs, whatever you want. But you get 2 in the overtime. And you don't take advantage on one single power play that we gave you. So, yes, we got 7 power plays, but we also converted on some of them. So, it's not really helping Carolina's clause. And I'm very concerned with them as a team, right? I think the Rangers have played outstanding, and they've done everything that we've asked them to do. But really heading into Raleigh, only things I could really say is kick their But let's do it. Let's do it. Let's take it to them, and let's really, really just keep on the pressure, man. Just keep it up. Don't stop. All right, don't give them games and for free, right? Really make them work for games, and just keep converting on the power play when they give it to you. I know there's stuff where you could say the Rangers are just a power play team, but then don't take penalties, right? If there's such a power play first team and power play merchants, don't take penalties. You take 7, and they cost you. You took a few in game 1, and they scored 2 in 30 seconds from both of them combined. Sometimes teams don't even score 1 in the whole 2 minutes. When will they learn? When will they learn to stay out of the box? Let the refs ref, and you play your game. But when you get off a game and you start taking cross-checking penalties in overtime to the guy that scored the game winner, they're going to make you pay. You're falling into the Rangers' trap, Carolina, taking penalties. That makes the Rangers hungry for goals. That's how they score their goals, and I'm a Ranger fan, and I'm saying that. That's how they win hockey games, too. Yes, they can get goaltending from Shesterkin. Yes, he made 50-plus saves. The guy was outstanding. But when you start taking penalties and penalties and penalties and penalties, and your top guys, your top penalty killers, are serving in the sin bin for 2 minutes, you're kicking yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot, man. I'm not complaining. This is a concern for them, because if they keep taking penalties, it's going to be a very short series, and quite honestly, a shocking short series. Many people have this series going at least 6 games, but if Carolina continues to take penalties after penalties after penalties, they're not going to win. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Ranger fan and I cover the New York Rangers. It's just for the Carolina Hurricanes, man. I'm not complaining at all about penalties. They can take them all they want. It's only helping the Rangers. I'm just saying, if Carolina wants to get back in the series, they either have to make a goaltender change or really fix this team's discipline, because it's not helping them. Now, another player to mention, Jake Guentzel, finally gets on the score sheet. Has a few goals expected. I mean, Jake Guentzel haunts the New York Rangers in the playoffs. We said it from time and time again. He's going to score eventually, even though he didn't score in game 1. That's just Jake Guentzel, man. He's a star player. He's really good. I think another topic, I guess, to say before we wrap up this recap pod is about the Rangers defense with Jacob Trouba. If you're the captain of the New York Rangers, I can't see you in the box, man. I really can't. Unless you're sticking up for someone, dropping the mitts and throwing hands, you're taking bad penalties. The tripping on Natchez can't happen, or whoever it was on. You nearly took Natchez's head off on that high elbow. And now, I know a lot of people really do say Jacob Trouba is a dirty player, doesn't hit well, he's not clean. Jacob Trouba plays a very, very physical, hard game. And as a hockey player myself, when you get to play against guys that are reckless and hit hard and play physical, their bodies, it's hard to control that. Their elbow gets up. It gets you in the head. They hit you after the whistle. They do all this stuff. That's just how Jacob Trouba plays, man. He plays the game hard, and he's gonna hurt you if you go in a corner with him. He's gonna give you a check. That's just what he does. He's a physical defensive defenseman, I guess that's kind of the term. Two-way defenseman, has some offensive upside, but not much. Mainly just a stay-at-home defenseman that's just going to hit you really hard. But that's really what I have for Jacob Trouba. Sense, stay out of the box and keep playing hard. If they're going to get on you and take their own penalties, so be it. Jake Guentzel took a penalty from punching Fox right in the nose. It's a retaliation that the refs are going to get you. Yes, on the camera, Fox did kind of nudge him a bit with the glove. then Gensel says, F you, Fox. Boom. They got a penalty. Rangers win that battle. It's just the Rangers are just playing with them. Rangers are a disciplined squad. They know how good their penalty kill is if they do go down. And Carolina's just fallen into that trap. But anyways, guys, that's going to really wrap it up for this podcast. Of course, another recap video. Rangers getting it done. 4-3 victory in overtime, double overtime. Vinny Trocheck, how you doing? Gets it done. How about it? Up 2-0. 2-0. Let's keep this same energy. Let's keep giving it to Carolina. Let's pack their house. And let's do this, baby. Let's go Rangers. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.